Well, hello friends, and welcome to the first of many videos, I presume, because this is going to be a slow process by virtue of name, the Slow Stitch. This little book I grabbed off of Amazon. I will link in the comment area or info area below. This is actually, to be perfectly honest, having read every self-help book, or at least every genre of self-help book, we'll say, this is actually one of the more concise and excellent, just general knowing yourself books that I've ever read. It's not over long. It's about 70 pages, or maybe 80. It's really beautifully and simply written. There are little practical activities, the activity drawing on your emotions, all these very interesting little things you can do. It's shockingly good for how concise it is. That makes me think that a lot of books could be shorter. Anyway, so we are going to be doing slow stitching. Specifically, I will be guiding us through a reef, mostly because I like to stitch reefy things. I have chosen a piece of shibori dyed fabric for myself. It's possible that I will cover the entirety of the fiber and we won't even see any of it under there, but my idea was that if I used this piece of shibori, it would kind of give me a visual reference, like if I wanted to try and emulate the light coming in. Oh, for pity's sake, you were laying evenly prior to this. How did a cat hair get on this? There was nowhere near a cat. Anyway, my point being, it might get completely covered, but my thought was, is if I used this particular piece of shibori that I have dyed myself, I believe this is, I want to say this is oak, because the oak takes a really nice light gray. So I think this is oak with iron, oak gall and iron. That sounds right. I'm trying to remember. I could go back and look. I documented all of that too. But my idea was that if I orientated it in such a way that it looked like where the light is coming from on the reef, perhaps, maybe that would be cool. I don't know if it will be. We're just going to see if it turns out cool. I've got it doubled over so that it's nice and thick. I have an actual good hoop, and by good I mean one that you can actually really tighten down without it skipping. People tell me that these ones don't skip. I don't believe you, because it doesn't have that cool little bolt in the end, so I feel like this one is also going to enrage me like many others have in the past. But if it does, I will go get another hoop. Other than that, maybe this way? No, I want the light coming from the left, but I don't want it there. That's better. I want it coming in from kind of a high angle, as it might be in the sea. Yeah, I can deal with that. Okay, I'm also doing it double thick so that if I want to, I can cut open the back of the stitch and stuff it if I feel so moved. And let's get our hoop on. It'll be a little more difficult because the fabric is double thick. You may have to loosen it more than you think to just get it over the edge. Oh, for pity's sake, don't be rude. You're round, stop that. You're not warped. There's no reason for you to act just such a way. You have plenty of room to get over that ledge. Stop it. Don't be rude. So rude. Get over that edge. What is your... son? This is why I don't like bad hoops. They're not really round. Ugh, so frustrating. Alright, well, it's gripping it at least. Alright, so we're going to pull this nice and snug. I have a shenanigan of fabrics here that are all very bright and reefy colored. I try to do something reefy once a summer because it's one of the more popular themes we have done in the Weaver Birds. So I like to try to do something in the reef department at least once a year, kind of like we do our fairy stitch along once a year. And if you are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, you can go check out my Patreon to find out more. And that's where all those patterns are I'm amazed that there's cat hair on this. This has been in a drawer for months. All right, now, something I would like to recommend to all of my Sore Hands Crafting Club members. All right, yeah, we're getting there. Is a ratcheting mini screwdriver. There's extra bits in the top that you can change out, specifically because if you have wrists like mine that need a dual reconstruction of your scaphoid lunate bone joint, which I do, from a complete TFCC tear on both sides, the turning motion while squeezing is not good for you. And it makes you want to die because it like partially dislocates your arm bone from yourself. So these, you just crank back. You don't have to rotate the whole, like your whole hand back. You can just rotate the tool in your hand. Thusly, I highly recommend this one. I've had it for ages. I got it in my Christmas stocking from my dad, and it is a real champ. All right, so we have this done. Now we can kind of consider what I'm thinking for our rocks. I'm gonna go find either a pencil or a disappearing ink pen. Please hold. This is turning into something of a product testing as well. I've never used this Dritz disappearing ink marker. It apparently just like lasts for a while. It will disappear in 48 to 72 hours. Humidity and the penetration of ink can alter the timing. You can also remove it with water, supposedly. I'm fascinated by this. I bought them for doing felt projects because the idea of putting that sticky solvy onto felt and then trying to peel that off of there literally makes my autism want to scream 1,000 suns out of the sky because it's sticky. Ugh, no zab. If you know my stories about zab, it is sap, and I hated it as a child as much as I hate it today. But we can see if it actually disappears. Oh, it's very nice and fine point. That I like. It's not going to be like dragging like a marker and blotting. Let's see. Oh, that's very fine. All right, well, that's fascinating. We'll see. Here we go. We'll see how that looks and see if it actually disappears in a couple days before I go sticking it on the main portion. However, I am going to get my fat graphite pencil. You can get them with big lead if you have clunky hands like me. And so what I was thinking is that if I put like a little C-mount back here, I'll have kind of a background. And then if I have some rocks protruding in the front here, I can have corals coming up, and then this whole area could be sand, and then I could have, you know, either just water next to the seamount, or I could have fish or whatever. My God, the cat hair. One day I'll stop being distracted by things mid-thought. That's not today, because I started this after my Adderall had already run out. You're lucky I'm not singing you songs about it. All right, so I'm thinking as like a general. I don't want it to go past here. So this is going to be like my semi-horizon line for the edge of the sand near the reef. So I'm going to call that my horizon. And that's going to be the other side of the seamount. Maybe I'll have that be like a little archway of like tumbled coral rock. Yes, I'm liking that more. We have kind of an archway happening here. We're coming up this way. We don't want it too tall because corals will burn if they get too close to the surface. So if the tide goes out in the coral reef, the corals that are closest to the top have to get obliterated by the sun. Some of them don't like that. There's very few corals that do like that. Most of them are acroporous. You can Google it. I took marine ecology in high school and then marine aquaculture in college. So I'm real weird about that. Okay, so this, we can make this into like double layered rock if we have like a crumbled arch in the front here. I'm Bob Rossing this. And then this can be like another rock system. I don't want to be doing a mile of just attaching blue fabric. That sounds boring. And this gives me another ledge right here to put a coral, perhaps one made of sequins. I don't know. Haven't gotten there yet. If we have like a little overhang, that kind of leaves a space for some darkness. And then maybe another kind of like big craggy rock coming out over here. Perhaps it's a volcanic seamount at one time. We don't know. We haven't colored it, so we can't tell. All right, so we've got some rock shapes. I've got some different angles here. I'm not a huge fan of the shape of the top. So we'll resolve that at a later date. All right, so we have kind of a rock shape there, and then this is going to be my max height of whatever's down here, because I want to be able to see sand in this area. Yes, that sounds right to my head. I'm glad I'm leaving this on so you can just hear me ramble to myself. It's a little hard to see what I'm doing, but maybe if I zoom it in a little bit, you can see better. Can you see that better? This leaves me some good spots for some corals. Okay, so this I want to be the highest spot that anything comes up so that we can see the sand in this area. And I don't want any of the side rocks coming up. They can cover the horizon line. There's no issue with that. And those might just be a coral themselves. They might turn into something else. It's a fantasy reef. There are no rules. You can make just all alien plants that look like weird, whatever you want. Make a creepy alien reef on a Titan. Make it full of, you know, sulfur-based life forms. I don't know. That is up to you. So I'm just putting in kind of the visual edges. I guess I would call this like laying in some rocks as a base, and I may not follow any of this, nor should you if you feel so moved while you are working. I'm thinking this should be kind of like a big coral of some sort, so I'm going to put that as a visual indicator that I want something large there. I can put something large here. It's kind of like a funnel shape. I can put something large here that's kind of ovoid, as long as it's like a foreground object. So maybe ovoid sponges of some sort. Leave that idea for a minute. And it's like we're looking out from the reef to the edge of the reef is where I'm going with that. And I'm trying to stay fairly close to the edge so that there's some hope of me being able to fit in some different heighted object. And any of these I could put like another hidden like tunnel pass through and just fill it in with a really dark color. I could put the tall one for this area here and maybe do like some encrusting sponges or something on the rocks, maybe beading. We need something large here, maybe like a colony of stovepipe. Or like, I don't know, make up a worm. Do whatever you want, honestly. No one's going to get mad at you because there's no plan. And that's the only way that I ever found any peace in my childhood, was to do something that could not be reprimanded because it was so weird. All right, and then maybe some buildup here so that we're not just constantly doing grass, or not grass, sand. Ugh, my sweaty hand, sorry, gross. That's the lack of, you know, autonomic regulation that we're dealing with here. All right, and then I think this one can come out at least that far. Certainly something can come up like this. There's no reason that something can't come off of it like this. Ooh, what if I wanted garden eels? Maybe if I took out that middle one, we could put a garden eel. Maybe no, that's not on the sand. They need to be in the sand. Maybe this isn't the piece for garden eels. Maybe we just do garden eels a different time. I forget that I can do things not that second. as much as I would like to just fit every technique into every piece every time, because that sounds fun. You get a lot of practice. All right, well, I'm going to call that our basic setup for rocks. I'm not going to be mad at myself if it doesn't turn out like that. And I'm going to try to focus on the light coming in like this way. So we'll have darker areas on either side, theoretically. Might not work out at all, might be impossible to pull off with the fabrics I have. Neither of those are bad or wrong. It's just working through it as we go. All right, let me see about, I don't know where I should start. Because we could have a little animal coming out of there. No, it's a fantasy reef. We don't need to have an animal coming out of every place, Erica. I feel like we should have a rock kind of protruding into the reef, though. Looks weird to just have it sitting on the sand, right? Well, we'll blur that edge as we get to it. All right, I am going to dig up some rock colors from both my own stash and the pack that the patronesters could work from. And let's see about attempting to be whimsical and present and knowing ourselves and exploring some new techniques and all of the good things in the book that we talked about also in the pattern. I highly recommend you read that study, and this book is really great. Really recommend that, to be perfectly honest. Was shocked at the quality. Not that you know what I mean. The conciseness in the quality. All right, let me find some fabrics, including the ones that the patronesters got, so you guys can see where you can go with it. And I will, I think, lay down some fabric. Will I stuff it? I don't know. Haven't decided yet, but you could add a bunch of depth of field and poofiness if you wanted to. Like if you wanted this one to look like it was in the foreground, you might pad that so it stands out from the ones behind it. So maybe I'll do the unpadded areas first. That sounds smart, because then things that I put on top of it will be even more suggestive that they are more in the foreground. I feel like that makes sense in some universe. All right, let's get started with that, and I will try to show you as we go along on the process. I've been talking for 11 minutes straight. That can't be good for you. I worry about the students I taught 10 years ago. All right, let's not talk for a minute. All right, we're back. Since I want to keep these videos fairly short and digestible for everyone, and also kind of semi-on topic, so this was our layout video. I also am happy to report that I went and grabbed some of my old dye stuffs from last year's experimentation. The extra fun part about them is that they are all the same color, technically, like the family, because they are all the same dye, but how they get taken up by the fabric is very different. So the eucalyptus on silk looks very different from the eucalyptus on like Kona cotton. So I can use those for where I have light shining, and it will be the same color, but different, lighter. So I have like a natural gradient just from dyeing. And I also wanted to show you, if you're going to use weird fibers or yarn or any kind of thing, you may want to look into something called a ribbon embroidery needle. I will attempt, oh, it's the same people who make that marker. How have I not encountered this brand more? I'm doing that thing where I notice something I'm not talking about. All right, these are ribbon embroidery needles. They have obscenely large needle eyes, and that makes it very helpful for getting some of your weird fibers through, because it pokes a big enough hole that you're not like yanking a big thing, which is the fiber, through a hole that's smaller than the fiber. So you want to use a nice big eye needle. For the rest of it, I'll be using my preferred Hidamari needles. I don't like the extra long ones. I stab myself. I use the short ones. And we are armed with our book and our fibers. So I think that we will end this first episode of setting ourselves up for success. And in the next one, I will talk about how I'm going to mentally attach the first of our stone colors. We also have all of the nice tans from our boutique pack. So let's pause here. If you're new, I hope I've earned your like or subscribe, and I hope you will stick around to see how this big slow stitch comes out. Anyway, I hope that you will come to the next one, and I am so glad that you shared some time with me today. I am very grateful that you would give me your most valuable resource, which is your time. So thank you so much for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!